Hi, I'm Patrick Parrish. I'm the owner of the Patrick Parrish Gallery here in TriBeCa in New York City. I do art and design shows, and I'm also a watch collector. Born in Atlanta, Georgia, grew up in Florida. Being a picker, you have freedom, but you also, it's hand to mouth. It's like you never know. You might have a great day, you might have a really bad week or a really bad month. So it's really up to you how hard you want to work to find stuff, and to find stuff you have to work really hard. Transferring from a picker into retail was a hard decision, but when we would be selling things to dealers in Manhattan and then later on going into their shops and seeing something we sold for $100, for $2,500 in their shop and marked sold, we started thinking, wow, maybe that would pay part of the rent. So our first gallery is on 25th Street in Chelsea. It was no looking back from that. I'm on my third space now. I got interested in watches, I will say, when I was in Chicago going to grad school. But at the time then, the watches that everyone that was buying mid-century modern, they were trying to buy Art Deco, Elgin, Gruen, Curvexes, and these gold-plated small watches. And the things that are hot now were just not hot at all. When I moved to New York, I remember going to a photographer's friend's house who had this loft, and it was filled with Herman Miller furniture, and it was so cool. And the watch he had on was a watch I'd never seen before, and it was an Accutron astronaut from the 60s. I think it was the SST pilots that wore them, CIA agents who were those pilots wore them, and then they were also the Gemini program used them. And the way there was no crown and you had set the time on the back, it was just very futuristic and space age, and it was a GMT, and I liked that complication. That's the first complication I really understood. And from that point on, I said, I'm gonna find one of these watches. And so at a Brimfield back in the late 90s, early 2000s, I remember finding a black-faced astronaut, and it was $300, and I bought it immediately. My friend said I paid way too much, and they're not worth a crazy amount now, but it's still, that got me started down the road to collecting watches related to space, which I did for a while, and then I moved to flight, and then after flight, I moved to racing. And all these watches have complications, and I really like chronographs and complicated watches. And then finally I got into diving, time only, but more into the aesthetics of those watches and the technology that goes into keeping this tiny little device sealed at great depths. So here at the gallery we have two levels. We have downstairs where we're filming right now, which is was designed to be almost like open storage in a museum, and it's where things are being worked on, things are sold, things are waiting for someone to come pick up, new things that we haven't put on the website or cataloged, mixed in with things that from older shows or shows that are coming up. So it's a very dynamic environment down here that changes all the time. But upstairs, we do about 6 to 8 shows a year, and the shows last between 6 and 8 weeks. Upstairs, we have a solo exhibition by the artist and designer Bert-Jan Pot. He's from Rotterdam in the Netherlands, and it's his first solo show in the United States. I find that anyone that's interested in design is usually interested in watches, and it's because they're machines and because they have to be so well designed. So if you love, Bauhaus furniture, and I show you, a Max Bill Junghans watch, you're gonna freak out. So there's a lot of crossover, and I have a hashtag, it's watches are design you can wear, and they're little pieces of design that you can wear on your body and interchange them out, every day if you want. So my name is Patrick Parrish. I'm the owner of Patrick Parrish Gallery and The Secret Watch Shop. I do art and design shows, and I'm also a watch collector.